Your brain never stops working. Even when you close your eyes, even when the world goes quiet, your subconscious is always listening, always recording, always shaping who you become. Most people waste this power. They let random thoughts rule their sleep. They let worry and doubt replay all night. But you can take control. You can turn sleep into your strongest tool. Tonight, you'll learn how. Chapter 1. Stop letting random thoughts control your sleep. Your last thought before sleep matters more than you think. It sets the tone for your entire night. It programs your subconscious for the next 8 hours. Most people don't pay attention to this. They scroll their phones until exhaustion hits. They fall asleep to TV noise. They let their mind wander into worry and stress, and their subconscious absorbs it all. Your subconscious doesn't filter, it doesn't judge, it accepts whatever you feed it, good or bad, true or false, helpful or harmful. That's its job. So if your last thought is about your problems, your subconscious works on problems all night. If your last thought is doubt, doubt gets stronger. If your last thought is fear, fear grows roots while you sleep. Most people waste this moment. They use it to stress, to scroll, to zone out. But you can use it differently. You can use it to plant seeds that grow while you rest. Think of a master gardener. They don't throw seeds randomly and hope for the best. They prepare the soil. They choose the right time. They plant with intention. That's what you're learning to do with your mind. The shift is simple. Take control of your last 5 minutes. No phone, no TV, no random thoughts. Just you and your intention. What do you want to become? What belief do you need? What version of yourself are you building? Choose one clear thought, one clear image, one clear feeling, and hold it as you drift off. Your subconscious will work on that all night. While you sleep, it will find solutions. Make connections, strengthen that belief. Build that version of you. How many nights have you wasted feeding your mind garbage? How many mornings have you woken up feeling the same? Because nothing changed while you slept. Starting tonight, guard those last 5 minutes like they're sacred ground, because they are. Your sleep is not just rest, it's programming time. Use it wisely. Chapter 2. Plant clear commands using the mirror method. Batas. Your subconscious responds to clear instructions, not vague wishes, not I hope or maybe someday. It needs direct commands. Most people talk to themselves with questions and doubts. Will I ever be successful? Can I really change? What if I fail? And their subconscious hears uncertainty. It builds uncertainty. But you can shift this. You can speak in statements, in declarations, in commands that your subconscious must follow. Before sleeping, your words carry weight. They bypass your logical mind. They go straight into programming, but only if you make them clear. Here's what works. I am confident, not I want to be confident, not I wish I was confident. Present tense. Direct statement. No room for doubt. I solve problems easily. I attract opportunities. I stay calm under pressure. I wake up energized. Each sentence is a command. Each one tells your subconscious what to build. But here's a technique most self-help books miss. It's called the mirror method, and it leverages a neuroscientific principle discovered by Dr. Giacomo Rizzolatti when he found mirror neurons in the human brain. Your mirror neurons activate. Your brain starts treating this observed version as real experience. It begins building the neural pathways as if you've already lived it. The mistake most people make is hoping things will change. Hope is not a command. Hope is passive. Your subconscious needs active direction. Think of your mind like a supercomputer running quantum calculations while you sleep. You can't ask it politely to run a program. You have to give it the code. You have to press enter. You have to make it happen. Your pre-sleep statements are that code. They're the instructions that run while you're offline. While your conscious mind rests, your subconscious executes the program. But here's the catch. You have to believe it's possible. Not that you're already there, but you can get there. Your subconscious won't accept commands that feel completely foreign. Start with statements that stretch you but don't break you. If I am wealthy, feels fake. Try I am building wealth. If I am fearless, feels wrong. Try I am getting braver. Find the version that resonates. The version that feels like truth waiting to happen. That's your command. What have you been telling yourself before bed? What program have you been running? Starting tonight, write down 3 clear commands, 3 statements about who you're becoming. Say them slowly, then engage the mirror method. See yourself living each one for just 10 seconds. Then sleep on. Your mirror neurons will work with your subconscious to build the reality you've programmed. Audiobook. Chapter 3. Use repetition to rewire your default patterns. You need the same message again and again. Most people try something once and expect magic. They say one affirmation. They think one positive thought. Then wonder why nothing has changed. But your brain doesn't work that way. Your current patterns were built over years. Thousands of repetitions. Every time you doubted yourself, that pathway got stronger. Every time you said I can't, that belief got deeper. One positive thought won't erase that, but 1,000 will. Think of it like carving a path through a forest. The first time you're pushing through thick brush. It's hard, it barely makes a mark. But walk that same path every day, and eventually you have a clear trail. Meanwhile, the old path you stopped using, it grows over. Nature reclaims it. That's exactly how your subconscious works. The pattern you repeat becomes automatic. It becomes your default. It becomes who you are without trying. So pick your core beliefs, the ones that will change your life. Confidence, discipline, clarity, courage, whatever you need most, and repeat them every single night. Same words, same time, same ritual, before sleeping. When your subconscious is wide open, when your conscious resistance is low, that's when repetition does its deepest work. Here's what nobody tells you. Your subconscious doesn't care if you believe it at first. It just needs repetition. It needs the signal sent over and over. Eventually, the signal becomes stronger than the old pattern. It's not about faith. It's about frequency. You'll notice the shift slowly. One day you'll respond differently to stress. One day you'll make a choice that surprises you. One day you'll realize the old doubt isn't as loud. That's the new programming taking over. But you have to stay consistent. Most people quit after a week. They don't see instant results, so they assume it's not working. But the work is happening under the surface, in the subconscious, where real change lives. A study at University College London found it takes an average of 66 days to form a new habit. Not 21, 66. Most people quit at day 7. They stop right when the neural pathways are beginning to form, right before the breakthrough. How long have you been inconsistent with your growth? How many times have you started and stopped? Starting tonight, commit to 90 days. Yes, 90. Same commands, same ritual, every single night. No exceptions. Let repetition be your chisel. Let consistency be your sculptor. You're not just changing thoughts. You're rewiring your brain. Audiobook. Chapter 4. Remove every negative loop with the interrupt pattern. Your mind loves loops. It replays the same thoughts over and over, especially at night. Especially the negative one. Most people lie down, and immediately the loop starts. The argument from last week, the mistake from yesterday, the fear about tomorrow. Round and round, getting deeper, each time. And here's the problem.
Your subconscious can't tell the difference between real events and replayed thoughts. Every time you replay that argument, your subconscious thinks it's happening again. Every time you replay that failure, you're programming yourself to fail. The shift starts with awareness. Notice the loops. Notice what thoughts you're letting replay. Most of them are automatic. They've been running so long you don't even question them. But you can interrupt them. You can stop the replay with a pattern interrupt. Here's the technique. When you notice a negative loop starting, don't fight it. Fighting creates resistance. Resistance keeps the thought alive. Instead, physically interrupt the pattern. Snap your fingers. Tap your chest twice. Clap your hands once. Something physical. Something that breaks the mental cycle. This works because your brain associates physical actions with state changes. You're creating a hard stop. Then immediately say out loud, cancel and clear. These words matter. They give your brain explicit permission to release the thought, to close the loop. Then replace it immediately. Fill the space with your chosen command, your new program. Don't leave empty space for the old loop to return. Most people try to push negative thoughts away, but pushing creates pressure. Pressure builds tension. Tension keeps the thought alive. The interrupt pattern is different. It's a clean break, a reset. Think of it like a record skipping. You don't let it skip forever. You lift the needle, move it to a different track. That's what you're doing with your thoughts. Do this every night. Before sleep, scan your mind. Notice what's playing. Interrupt the loops that don't serve you. Replace them with the programs that do. Here's an advanced variation. Some negative loops have deeper roots. They're connected to old trauma or core wounds. For these, add one more step. After the interrupt, before the replacement, say, I acknowledge this pain, but it doesn't define my future. This honors the emotion without letting it control you. It creates space between feeling and identity, between past experience and future possibility. What negative loop have you been replaying for months? What thought keeps showing up uninvited? Starting tonight, become the guardian of your mental space. Not everything deserves your attention. Not everything deserves to run while you sleep. Use the interrupt pattern. Cancel and clear. Choose wisely. Close what doesn't serve you. Program what does. To rituals that tell it what's coming next. Most people have no sleep ritual. They just crash when exhaustion wins. Sometimes at midnight. Sometimes at 2 a.m. Always with their phone in hand. Always with their mind racing. And their subconscious never gets the signal. Never knows it's time to shift. Time to absorb. Time to program. A ritual fixes this. A ritual creates a bridge between your waking state and your programming state. It tells your brain, this is the time. This is when we set tomorrow's foundation. Psychologist B.J. Fogg, who directs the Behavior Design Lab at Stanford, discovered that the most successful behavior changes happen through what he calls tiny habits, anchored to existing routines. Your sleep ritual becomes an anchor, a trigger that tells your brain, programming mode activated. The ritual doesn't have to be complex. It just has to be consistent. Same time, same steps, same intention. Here's what works. 5 to 10 minutes before you want to sleep. Turn off all screens. The blue light from devices suppresses melatonin and keeps your conscious mind alert. You need that guard to lower. Sit or lie in a quiet space. Take 3 deep breaths, using the 4-7-8 pattern. Inhale for 4 counts. Hold for 7. Exhale for 8. This activates your parasympathetic nervous system. It tells your body, we're safe. We can rest. We can be open. This simple pattern is powerful. It creates a container for your programming. It makes the last minutes of your day intentional instead of random. Most people waste their rituals on scrolling and stress. They train their brain to associate bedtime with anxiety, with distraction, with nothing useful. But you can train differently. You can make bedtime your most powerful moment. The moment everything you want gets planted in fertile ground. Here's what changes with a ritual. Your brain starts to anticipate it. It knows what's coming. It prepares. It opens, and your commands go deeper, faster, with less resistance. After a week of this ritual, you'll notice something. Your mind settles faster. Your commands feel more real. Your sleep feels more purposeful. That's your subconscious recognizing the pattern. That's classical conditioning, working in your favor. Ivan Pavlov trained dogs to salivate at the sound of a bell. You're training your brain to enter programming mode with your ritual. Same principle, different applications, better outcome. What's your current pre-sleep routine? Is it helping you or hurting you? Starting tonight, build your ritual. Keep it simple. Keep it clear. Keep it consistent. Write it down. Commit to it. Let it become the sacred bridge between who you are and who you're becoming.
Chapter 6. Let go of control with the trust transfer. Here's the part most people get wrong. They plant their commands. They say their statements. Then they lie awake trying to force change. They grip the thought. They repeat it obsessively. They strain to feel different. And nothing happens because they're still in control mode. Still trying to make it happen consciously. But that's not how the subconscious works. The subconscious only works when you release control, when you let go, when you trust it to do its job while you rest. Think about learning to ride a bike. At some point you stopped thinking about balance. You just rode, your subconscious took over. The same thing happens with your programming. You plant it. Then you have to let it grow without watching. Most people can't do this. They stay in their conscious mind, analyzing, checking, wondering if it's working. And that very act blocks the process. Your conscious mind is the gatekeeper. It questions. I doubt it. It filters. It's necessary during the day, but at night it needs to step aside. It needs to let your subconscious run free. That's the magic of sleep. Your conscious mind finally shuts up. Your subconscious gets to work without interference. It reorganizes. It integrates. It builds what you commanded, but only if you let go. Research from Harvard Medical School found that sleep doesn't just rest your brain. It actively processes information. During slow-wave sleep, your brain replays memories. During REM sleep, it makes unexpected connections. It finds solutions to problems you couldn't solve while awake. It literally builds new neural pathways. But this only happens when your conscious mind releases control, when you stop trying to direct the process. Don't monitor your thoughts. Don't check if you're doing it right. Just drift. Just let go. Your subconscious knows what to do. Your job is to get out of the way. Most people fail at this because they don't trust the process. They want proof. They want to feel change immediately. But real change happens quietly, beneath consciousness. In the deep work of sleep, there's a reason they call it sleeping on it. Your subconscious solves problems better than your conscious mind. It has access to more information, more patterns, more connections. But it needs space to work. What if you already have everything you need? What if your subconscious is more powerful than you realize? What if you just need to stop blocking it with doubt and control? Starting tonight, practice the trust transfer. Plant your commands with intention. Then release them with trust. Control your last 5 minutes awake. Then surrender completely to sleep. This is not passive. This is strategic. This is how masters work with their minds. Your first thought in the morning is just as important as your last thought at night. It's the moment you check what your subconscious built while you slept. Most people wake up and immediately check their phone. Messages, news, problem. Other people's thoughts flood in before they've had their own. And whatever your subconscious created overnight gets buried, forgotten, lost in the noise.
But you can do this differently. You can wake up and reinforce. You can take the seeds you planted and water them first. Here's why this matters. Your subconscious worked all night. It ran your commands. It found connections. It built new pathways. But those pathways are fresh. They're new. They need reinforcement or they fade. Think of it like a dream. When you wake up, a dream is vivid. But if you don't capture it immediately, it dissolves. Your new programming is the same. Reinforce it now or lose it. Neuroscientist Dr. Andrew Huberman discovered that the first hour after waking is when your brain is most neuroplastic, most capable of change, most open to new patterns. He calls this the morning opportunity window. Your cortisol is naturally elevated. Your brain is alert, but not yet flooded with external demands. This is prime time for programming. The practice is simple, but it requires discipline. Before you check anything, before you move, before you even open your eyes fully, state your commands again, the same ones from last night, out loud or in your mind, clear and direct. This shifts your brain from hoping to observing, from wishing to witnessing. You're claiming the transformation that's already underway. This creates a loop. Night programming, morning reinforcement. Night programming, morning reinforcement. Each cycle makes it stronger. Each cycle makes it more real. Most people never close the loop. They plant at night, but forget by morning. They wonder why nothing sticks. But you can't plant once and expect a forest. You have to water. You have to tend. You have to reinforce it. Here's what changes with the morning claim. Your day starts from your chosen foundation, not from external pressure, not from what's urgent, but from what you decided matters most. You move through your day with your commands active. Your subconscious keeps working on them. Keep finding ways to make them real. And by night, you have new evidence, new reasons to believe, new momentum to build on. This is how real transformation happens, not through one powerful moment, but through consistent daily reinforcement, morning and night, night and morning, building, growing, becoming. A study published in the European Journal of Social Psychology found that people who reinforced new behaviors immediately upon waking were 63% more likely to maintain them long-term. Morning is when habits take root or die. How do you currently start your day? What's the first thing you feed your mind? Starting tomorrow, make the morning claim sacred. Set your alarm 5 minutes earlier if you need to. Before anything else, before the world rushes in, claim your commands. Say them, feel them, declare, "This is already becoming true." Then go into your day knowing your subconscious is working for you, that you're not hoping for change, you're claiming it. Chapter 8. Track the small shifts with the evidence journal. Your subconscious doesn't announce its progress. It just quietly rewrites your default patterns. Most people quit because they don't see proof. They expect to wake up transformed. They expect to feel completely different after a few nights. And when that doesn't happen, they assume it's not working. But it is working, just beneath the surface, in ways you won't notice unless you're paying attention. Here's what to look for. Small shifts, tiny moments where you respond differently than you would have before. A moment where you didn't spiral into worry. A choice you made without overthinking. A belief that felt slightly more real. These are not accidents. These are signs your programming is taking root. Your subconscious is starting to default to the new pattern instead of the old one. But if you're only looking for massive change, you'll miss this. You'll overlook the evidence that proves it's working. The shift is about awareness, about noticing. Most people live on autopilot. They react without noticing. They think without questioning. They miss the small wins because they're too focused on the big picture. Start tracking with what I call the evidence journal. Not obsessively, just mindfully. Keep a simple note on your phone or a small notebook by your bed. 1 sentence per day. Today I noticed. Could be a thought, a feeling, a choice, a reaction, anything that shows you're different than you were. Today I noticed I didn't catastrophize when the meeting got moved. Today I noticed I spoke up in a situation where I would normally stay quiet. Today I noticed my first thought about tomorrow was calm instead of anxious. Over time, this journal becomes proof. You'll see the pattern. You'll see the progression. You'll see that your subconscious is doing exactly what you asked it to do. Psychologist Teresa Amabile from Harvard Business School studied what motivates people most. It wasn't money. It wasn't recognition. It was progress, even small progress. She called it the progress principle. When people see evidence of forward movement, their motivation skyrockets. Their belief in the process deepens. Most people need this evidence to stay consistent, because when you see proof, belief grows. And when belief grows, the programming goes even deeper. It becomes a positive feedback loop. What small change have you ignored because it didn't seem big enough? What evidence of growth have you dismissed as coincidence? Starting today, become a noticeman. Start your evidence journal. Watch for the shifts. Celebrate them like you would celebrate a child's first steps, because that's what they are. First steps toward the person you're programming yourself to become. Let them remind you that your subconscious is listening, that your programming is working, that change is happening whether you see it in the mirror yet or not. Your subconscious will resist change, even positive change, because its primary job is to keep you safe, and safe means familiar. Most people hit resistance and think they're doing it wrong. They think it means the method doesn't work, or that they're not cut out for this, so they quit. But resistance is not a stop sign. It's a sign you're getting close. Close to breaking through an old pattern. Close to installing a new one. Close to becoming someone different. Your old programming has been running for years. It has deep roots. It has momentum. It won't give up without a fight. So expect pushback. Expect nights where your mind races despite your ritual. Expect mornings where doubt feels stronger than your commands. Expect moments where the old pattern screams louder than the new one. Most people quit right here, right when it matters most, right when they're 1 week away from the breakthrough. They let resistance convince them to go back to the old pattern, and they stay stuck forever. But you can push through, not by forcing, but by reframing, by seeing resistance as progress, not as a problem. Here's the reframe. When resistance shows up, say this: this discomfort means I'm growing. This is the old pattern dying. I'm exactly where I need to be. This simple reframe changes everything. Instead of seeing resistance as evidence you're failing, you see it as evidence you're succeeding. You're not doing it wrong. You're doing it right. Think of a lobster. As it grows, its shell becomes too tight, uncomfortable. It has to shed the old shell to grow a new one. During that vulnerable period between shells, it's exposed, defenseless. But without that discomfort, without shedding the old shell, it can never grow. You're shedding old shells, old beliefs, old patterns. It's supposed to feel uncomfortable. That's not a bug. That's a feature. Here's the truth. Resistance fades, not immediately, but eventually. Your subconscious stops fighting what you keep repeating. It starts to accept. It starts to integrate. It starts to make the new pattern automatic. Research from the University of Scranton found that only 8% of people achieve their New Year's resolution. The other 92% quit. Most quit within the first 3 weeks, right when resistance peaks, right before the breakthrough. But you have to outlast the resistance. You have to prove you're serious. You have to show your subconscious that this isn't a temporary experiment. This is who you're becoming. How many times have you quit when resistance showed up? How many times did you let discomfort convince you to stop? Starting tonight, reframe resistance. When it shows up, that's your signal to double down, to stay consistent, to prove you mean it. Write this down. Resistance is not my enemy. It's my teacher. It shows me I'm growing. Resistance is not your enemy. It's your test. Pass it, because on the other side of resistance is the person you're meant to become. Your subconscious is smarter than your conscious mind. It processes faster. It sees connections you miss. It holds solutions you haven't thought of yet. Most people try to figure everything out consciously. They plan every step. They need to understand every detail. They can't move forward without knowing exactly how things will work. But that's not how transformation happens. You don't need to know how. You just need to plant what. Your subconscious handles the rest. Think about every skill you've ever mastered. You didn't consciously learn how to walk. You didn't think through every muscle movement. Your subconscious figured it out. It was tested, it was adjusted, it was learned without your awareness. Your conscious mind can hold about 7 pieces of information at once. Your subconscious can process millions of data points simultaneously. It has access to every experience you've ever had, every lesson you've ever learned, every pattern you've ever noticed. It knows what you need. It knows how to get you there. Most people can't do this. They need control. They need proof. They need to see the path before they take the first step, and that very need blocks the process. Your job is simple. Plant clear commands, stay consistent, then get out of the way. Here's what happens. When you trust, opportunities appear that you weren't looking for. Ideas surface at unexpected moments. Connections form between things that seem unrelated. Solutions arrive when you're not even thinking about the problem, not because you forced them, but because your subconscious was working behind the scenes, finding paths you couldn't see, making connections you didn't know exist. Most people miss these moments because they're too busy trying to control. They're so focused on their plan that they ignore the better path their subconscious is revealing. Think of it like Google Maps. You type in your destination, the algorithm finds it accounts for traffic you can't see, construction you don't know about, accidents that haven't been reported yet. It guides you through turns that don't make sense until you see where they lead. Your subconscious is that algorithm, more sophisticated than any GPS. It knows routes to your goals that your conscious mind can't fathom. But you have to trust the directions, even when they don't make sense yet. What if your subconscious already knows how to get you where you want to go? What if you just need to stop blocking it with doubt and control? Starting tonight, trust the process completely. Trust your mind. Trust that the work you're doing before sleep is working in ways you can't yet measure. You don't need to see every step. You just need to take the next one. Your subconscious will guide you the rest of the way. Plant your commands with certainty. Release them with trust. Then watch with wonder as your life begins to reflect the programming you've installed. This is not magic. This is neuroscience. This is psychology. This is how your brain is designed to work. You're not trying to bend reality. You're finally working with your mind instead of against it.
Your subconscious is always working. The only question is what you're programming it with. Random thoughts or intentional commands. Fear or confidence. Old patterns or new ones. That choice is yours. Every single night, make it count.